This is Things You Might Not Have Heard, and I am Jacob Payne, bringing it to you today on the 17th of December, 2025. 17 from 25 equals 8 days till Christmas. You will see that we have 8 stories for you today, 8 news stories to present to you that you deem as conversational. These are stories that, believe it or not, you had a hand in helping us pick for this morning's presentation. I say morning because I'm presenting to you right now live at 5:30 a.m. Central Time within the world on the 17th of December. But you may watch this on a replay somewhere. Let me know when you're watching it, where you're watching it from, and the source, whether this is Facebook, X, or YouTube. And of course, we'll ask you to subscribe to those just in case you're not already there. Now, Susie Wiles is big in the news as she's overtaken as the top story. Not the most important story, but maybe she is, as she is the person that gives a lot of insight to how the Trump administration is working right now. And there is a question mark about this interview that she did, or a series of interviews that turned into one big write-up, and whether it is actually her mea culpa, her sort of bowing out, saying, I'm leaving, this is me making sure that all things are right, or maybe she was taken quite out of context. We'll see about that one as well. We also have news today, news stories coming out of Brown University, where a new enhanced picture is up for the possible shooter. You won't see much from the video picture we have here, but check it out on your own. And the CBS, a double dose of CBS, something they did wrong, something they did right, and something to do more of on that level. Plus, since that's 2 stories of CBS, 4 other stories, more Trump adjacent as they go. Remind you that our website home, this is conversationproject.com for more details about how we get things done around here. So you can check that out eventually. And of course, you can see our page, our sponsors page, and we will talk about one spotlight today. That, of course, being Brown News. We'll tell you how the best news possible comes from everywhere. You can figure out what the best news is for you. Now, let's get into the news stories. 8 headlines, as promised, for you right now. Kicking things off in Providence at Brown University, where the police have shared an enhanced video and some stills that show a masked person of interest casing the east side more than an hour before the attack. The investigators are highlighting distinctive gaits, the posture, the black cross body bag, and they're asking residents near Hope and Water to see if they have more footage of the young man, or he's a man, so there you go, who is casing the joint, walking around the neighborhood, preparing for this attack. The previous detailed individual was revealed to be someone they didn't quite figure was the man, a person of interest that was held up at the hotel, but was released with no charges. FBI has removed a longer clip and reported shorter versions amid tips they have going forward. Police are stressing the motive remains unknown. We have no idea why the attacker shot up the classroom on this day. And they're stressing that community rumors and misinformation is a big deal in the manhunt, but actually complicates things. So try to keep things as clean as possible. Any information to go to police so they can deal with it. No sort of vigilante community action be going on. So check out the link, look at the video, see more details, and see if you know more about what's going on. If you live here, I'm not sure why a person in Providence would be this early in the morning, but if you are, check out your ring cams, check out your security cameras, see what you got that may have picked up a guy around at this area, so we can get this as quickly as possible. Susie Wiles is pushing back on the Vanity Fair interview and saying it was a disingenuous hit piece. However, many people believe this is more of her being her, and there are many folks, including all the administration and Donald Trump, who are coming to her defense in this article. Trump said he didn't quite read it all in the words that were said and the statements that were given and all the innuendo that we're taking from that. Now, quotes about internal West Wing dynamics sparked blowback from Wiles specifically and Trump folks in general, as Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, labeled the Vanity Fair Q&A a disingenuous framed hit piece, an actual quote from her in her statement. Wiles did not retract any comments, so she didn't say anything was false, but she recast the interview as a hostile packaging of otherwise routine personnel talk. The rebuttal doubles as a message of discipline, defend the boss, which you must do, dismiss the messenger, which is Vanity Fair, and move the news cycle along, ending the stoppage on this story. However, it has been a top story for most of the news coverage for this morning, so they're doing a lot of hit on this one, not just an afternoon thing, but a all day today as well, as we get to another Trump story in just a moment to talk about that one. Follow-ups will come up. There'll be more interviews. They interviewed the author of the piece basically everywhere they could, so he could say what he wanted to say and do what he wanted to do. Meanwhile, Susie Wiles did some not so nice things about J.D. Vance, about Donald Trump, saying he had an addictive personality, a alcoholic's personality specifically, and about Vogt, Russell Vogt, who is basically pure evil. He just had some nice things to say about Marco Rubio, which is interesting, and Pam Bondi, not so great. Things along those lines that make the administration seem a bit disheveled. We'll say disheveled. We'll use that word because it's a nice word. Susie Wiles pointing at us for saying disheveled, but it does a big time get by getting inside the head of the person who basically runs the show around there, getting to understand how things are going and how bad things are going in some cases, and of course the innuendo that we can pull from that on our own. The Trump administration is pushing ahead with the planned White House ballroom construction, and it believes it is framing this as national security issues. Yes, it's a bit of national security to finish off the ballroom for Donald Trump. In a court filing, administration lawyers argue that the under construction White House ballroom must proceed for national security. Opposing preservation is seeking to halt it. Lawsuit asks for independent reviews and congressional oversight. The government says the delays would actually undermine security operations. For some reason, not having a bigger place to dance would be a bad thing for security, per Trump. The case arrives as the outside group pushes for transparency on the sitting, the costs, and the security adjustments that be made for the ballroom itself. A simple explainer to what's going on would be great. A nice little, this is what exactly we're doing, why it's costing so much, and what's going to happen would be awesome. We're not going to get that, so don't expect that. What we're getting is backlash, pushback, and a lot of flack from the White House, who just tore down, half the building because we need a bigger ballroom, even though that's where basically all the all the things for the first ladies and the accoutrements happen out. And there's no place there. First lady, of course, living in New York, so why does she need places to work out of? So no big deal. We just need a ballroom. Let's go ahead and take care of that one. National security. It's all about blowing up drug books and stuff like that. Fox News has a weird war on Christmas where they want to get rid of trees to build more data centers. That's a whole other story we didn't actually pull for today. But the war that's going on in Ukraine is definitely a real war. And it looks like the Kremlin, i.e., Vladimir Putin, does not want to have a Christmas truce and is reaffirming that the war goals in Ukraine are what they are: total destruction, for the most part. Moscow is publicly dismissing Berlin's call for a Christmas ceasefire, arguing any pause would let Kiev regroup. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov reiterated that Russia's objectives remain unchanged. No near-term operations for talks to change anything going forward. This means all the peace talks, all the ceasefire things, yeah, they're not going anywhere. So the contrast between the battlefield tempo, how they want to pick things up right now, and the winter coming into Kiev, the winter coming in for the folks in Ukraine, which is usually harsh, and them dealing with it at both as civilians in the middle of the crossfire and as soldiers, is a big deal. So while not trying to have a truce during the holidays, not trying to have some sort of Christmas reprieve, because Russia says that Moscow will just be beaten up worse because Ukraine will just regroup and can fight them against them. It's going to be a rough deal. It's going to be a really rough deal. This is the part where we pause news slightly to get you to help us out a little bit. We are seeing some great growth inside of our YouTube page. We're seeing a lot of folks who are following us and doing more things with us on X specifically, and some Facebook as well. Facebook's kind of the lagging indicator, if you will, but we need more. We are not a large channel, medium-sized channel. We are still under 3,000 subscribers, so we're not getting the love we could possibly get out there. So what we need from you is to share the love and like what you share out there as love. Like the videos that you're seeing here, especially on YouTube, so we get more people subscribing there, more people seeing us there, The algorithm will see all the likes and it will share it with folks, and hopefully they will join in the fun as well. If you know like-minded people, share it with them, whether it's the X, the Facebook, or the YouTube videos, or whether it's our TikTok videos or our newsletter. Make sure you're sharing the work with other folks so we get more people involved, engaged, we have going on, growing us going here. And the big kick is if you're seeing this, you're getting this, you're enjoying this, you're not getting it normally into your feeds because it's not subscribed. Subscribe, like, follow, however you want to call it. Make sure you are tagged in with this so that every single weekday morning you get this thing here, or every single weekday afternoon in your feed, you see, oh, there's a new one from here. Let me check it out and go from there. Or as we post the hot takes around the day, they'll pop up in your feed. Talk where they are. Like, share, subscribe, so we have news nerds in the News Nerd Nation doing their thing, watching us, conversating, talking about news stories. Two hits on CBS. One a good thing they did, one a not so good thing they did. This first is the not so good thing, and that is the town hall with Erika Kirk, and it drew disappointing ratings despite heavy promotion, which is kind of odd. I would dispute that because I don't think the promotion was all that heavy, but it was a tough news night and things going on, and it was also Erika Kirk and Barry Weiss. The premier town hall, moderated by Barry Weiss, underperformed in total views and the key demo, despite significant marketing push that was there. Trade press also noted that thin premium advertising and heavier reliance on issue sponsors. So these are the type of call response sponsors that you have to, use a code to use so to get paid for. Trust me, you do this in the radio all the time. We do this for our affiliate ads. You can click the link and you can see them, but we really need you to buy something from them so we get credit using that specific link. You've got to call in using the code to buy whatever they were selling that day. Probably mostly gold, to be honest. So that was a big deal going forward. No real sponsors were a part of this big deal. They just went to the, cheap sponsors, for lack of a word. So we have social views, but the winner ratings were pretty much the headline, and they were terrible, especially for Saturday night primetime experiment. Saturday nights is a place where things go to die anyway, so you're not expecting very much. And on a night when we were following breaking news at that time, breaking news from Brown University, and a few hours later, probably about that point in time, we found out about what went down at Bondi Beach in Australia. It was hard to get people to tune into this. I watched it with some split screens. It was just as bad as I thought. So format tweets, news pegs, maybe may do something better targets, if you will, for these town halls and better town hall. My read up on this was actually more like a 4 to 6 hour taping, and that turned into basically a 45-minute production with some commercial breaks. So yeah, it was not live like I thought it was at first, and it was not very well put together like I saw from the whole. So yes, we'll take another bite of the apple with greenlighting a second Everybody Loves Raymond reunion special, which will order a part 2 of this one. 30-year anniversary of the airing of the show. Legacy cast still remains, and some curated clips from the archives. So this is a low-risk nostalgia hit that will fill the schedule gaps and over-index some multi-generational households. A lot of people who are much younger, who will have the demo that Raymond was in when it was on the air, are now watching this in reruns. Raymond is a big show that's in syndication, so a lot of people are watching it now. And like I said, 30 years of nostalgia, people who watched it way back when are now going into that sort of mode where it all kicks in. Paramount Plus day-to-date streams should be pretty big. Cross promotion with CBS Holiday Box going forward. Here's a big contextual ad. It's that time of the year when things are slower and you're looking for something just nice to take into. This is something that's just nice to take into. The FDA is warning that Walmart, Target, and a few other retailers need to do something good and take some recalled baby formula off the shelves. Letters are going out to these various stores and to people out there just didn't know that Walmart and Target are still selling by heart formula. The lots after November recall tied it to the infant botulism investigation. The agency is citing failures to adequately remove recalled stock from the shelves and the online fulfillment activities. Basically, they didn't go through all the cases, find all the ones that were in the recall and pull them off the shelves, still being sold still being active in there. So be careful. Retailers are facing corrective actions for the plans. FDA said multi-state probe remains active into the formula and into the botulism outbreak. This is where I should actually list the lot numbers and SKU numbers for this stuff. I can't do that. So click the link for the story. It is in your description, except for Facebook, because Facebook's like that. So click the link for the story and find out which lots you're looking for. And if you're buying this particular formula by heart, please be careful. And despite the robot editor, the robot speaker, I should say, on the quick hit version of Things You Might Have Heard, not be able to say it, it is FIFA. I could not spell it phonetically properly, so they spelled it FIFA, FIFA. But it's the folks that run the soccer World Cup, and they are cutting some ticket prices down to as low as $60, following some backlash on just how much they cost. The uproar over dynamic pricing, FIFA created an unlimited intro tier for 60 seats. About $10 membership of each team's official allocations, including the final. The discount applies to loyal supporters via national associations. Enforcement standards are very vague in how they get those. But this press release covers only a sliver of total inventory. Still, many ticket headlines are coming out to be about $4,000 final tickets. If you want to be at a big show, you got to pay big bucks. So, just like any other dynamic ticket that action we've had in the last couple of years, or just tickets in general on online sections, they cost too much. They cost too much. They cost too much. It's going to be a whole lot to get people into this country because we're blocking people's entry and get them into the teams, into the venues, to the games because they're costing so much. This is usually a fairly big draw, but we're going to see what happens as U.S., Canada, and Mexico are hosting the joint parts of this stuff. Oh, by the way, we're all hosting some pieces of it to make it work. $60 a ticket, not a bad get. $4,000 a ticket, not necessarily a terrible get for a championship game, but it is FIFA. It is soccer. So we'll see how they will to play this one going forward. Let's play not so much a game. In fact, let's not even call it a game. Let's play with the news and get you the news the best we can. And it's pretty simple. Use Ground News. Use our affiliate link for helping us out, and we'll help you out in the meantime. You get 4% off the Vantage plan. We get a small commission back. If you go to this is theconversationproject.com/ground news. This is theconversationproject.com/ground news, and click the link there, and we will help you in the door and get a little bit for showing your way in. Now, Ground News itself is a groundbreaking app that allows you to see the news from all angles, all perspectives, all genres, because it gives you an aggregation of news from all the different various sources that they are. It tells you about the sources. There are news station, whether they are a broadcast station, whether they are a headline news, or an email website, whether they are a set of podcasts that give you news updates. They'll tell you who's behind it, who's funding them, what type of news they need to put out there, where they stand on perspective, left or right, red or blue, basically the basic stuff there. They also will give you a chance to see what they're covering, how they're covering, what the headlines and the pieces of the news, and how it may be different from what someone else from a different perspective sees. And if you go to Ground News and use them to buy in on the Vantage plan, 40% off that plan, if you use our affiliate link, you can get a great chance to see all the news that's being put out to you, pushed to you, if you will, with the bias that's attached to it. The blind spot feature shows you the literal bias to every single story that's out there on the web. It'll tell you what stories that the red side is trying to push more, and what stories you can push less of, so the blues don't look so good, and vice versa. The blue side pushing more of and pushing less of, so it doesn't look so good. You can see what stories you're literally blind to because your silo may not be participating in such news. Very simple. Go to this is theconversationproject.com/ground news. This is theconversationproject.com/ground news, and get in on this great edition for Ground News. The Conversation Project is online at this is conversationproject.com. Visit our home for replays of the shows, also links to partners and to sponsors, and just our origin story and things that are attached to us are there. You can also email me with any sort of comments, concerns, or questions. Conversation inbox at gmail.com. Visit us on Facebook and X, our feed, so that you can see what stories we're wanting to chat about and help us pick the stories we chat about specifically here on the channel. Just like that. And just like that, we're done. It's Wednesday, 17th of December, which means 9 days till Christmas, 2025. Love you. Mean it. We're going to wrap up out of here. We're doing our best to get a full week of work in this week because we're going to take off all next week. We love you. Want you to take some time off as well. We'll pop in with some hot takes as we can, but hey, we've got to take a break, spend time with family, got to get in the Christmas spirit somehow. Let's get out of here and prep for a good Wednesday all around and a good tomorrow to start.